Okay, so on the bench we have a chassis that's been sitting around the lab for a while. This is a gutted Carvin X100. The only thing left in it is the power transformer and the output transformer and a few jacks and switches, a fuse, double throw, single pole for, I think that's just the selector for 220 or 110, and then 2 input jacks, XLR, which I left, that's for the reverb or effects loop. So yeah, I might leave these in. But I just installed a Micalex socket here. At one point I had drilled out the rivets and removed the, I had to remove the whole circuit board. And so I had to drill these out. Again, this hole's for the phase inverter, these two for the preamp, 12AX7s or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna use 2 or 4, 2 on each side in parallel for push-pull, class AB. I'm going to use Sovtecs. I've got plenty of them. I think I have 10 or 12, 15 5881s, brand new. I've had them for a long time. And again, this is the output transformer leads. I may take these transformers off and unbolt them and paint them because they're starting to rust on the top. So I was very thrilled that I was able to, let me turn this over. So here I was able to use Kep's nuts and screws that actually dig in and anchor into the chassis. Hopefully I got them tight enough here, but these Belton Micalex sockets are about the best tube sockets you can get. This is like a glass fiber composite, and they hold the pins tight. I mean, you can flip this, you can invert the thing and shake them upside down, and there's no chance of the tubes falling out. In fact, you have to rock them out carefully, or you can end up breaking them on your hand. So definitely remove your tubes carefully from these sockets. Like, I have used porcelain in the past, and the problem with these, especially these imported, you can hear them shaking. You can hear the loose fit electrodes in there, and they don't hold the pins well, and so you can have all sorts of problems with your tubes. So I no longer use these for anything but prototypes. If I'm going to just like dead bug something with wires on the bottom and stick a tube in there and just, test up a prototype, I'll use them. In fact, I've already used this one and taken it out of something. So yeah, buoyed by the inertia of the success of the last project. See, this is the transformer that I'm going to wind up sanding and painting probably, or at least giving it a nice spray paint coat of flat black, and then bolt it back to this chassis. Same with this output transformer. So I'm going to take my time with this project, but I'm pretty excited about it anyway. So I think today I'll go ahead and mount the rest of these octal sockets, and then see if my Micalex 12AX7 sockets fit here. And then at some point I'm going to tap and drill for the phase inverter. I'm going to use cathodione phase inversion for the push-pull circuit here. And so I'll have 2 in parallel on each side on a class AB push-pull, phase inverted by like a 12AY or a 12AT7, and then 2 12AX7s in the pre, most likely. Or I'll set it up to where I could use whatever, plug and play. So I guess that's about it for now on this. Before I go, I wanted to also mention another project that I have slated for this chassis here. This is a donation from my friend Dan in New York, and it's been featured on at least two or three projects on my YouTube site. The first one, I had this. This is actually a vintage tube socket. This is Bakelite, brown Bakelite, and actually the one mounted in here is brown Bakelite, and this is a porcelain socket. It might be higher quality. I don't know. Yeah, it might be about the same. But, so I might end up replacing that with Micalex, but I doubt it because I've already got filament windings in here. I've painted this transformer. And the tubes for this is going to be another push-pull project, and I've got a pair of General Electric new old stock American-made 6Y3s, which actually take a lower voltage on the plate. They can, I think, go with like 175 volts or so on their plates, which is considerably lower than like a 6V6, for instance. I don't want to damage this old box if I can help it. A lot of times these things fall apart. But that's the 6Y6 GT. And then I've got, of course, another one in the other box just like it. It's a matched pair, and I've used them before in a Class AB. The only Class AB I've ever scratch built, which was in this chassis. But it wasn't a complete amp with a pre and a power amp. It was just a power amp. So it had a phase inverter and then two tubes. And I just used a solid state preamp to test it. And then, not having a lot of parts and money, I ended up taking it apart and building a Class A in here. And then scavenging parts from that. So this is what's left of that. And there's a lot of chunky solder in here, but it's no big deal. The nice thing about this copper-plated chassis is that it tarnishes easy, as you can see, but it takes a solder bond, and it's a really low noise because you can get a good ground connection, and it's really easy to solder to. So that'll be cool. Although I may take this diode-based diamond full wave rectifier, bridge rectifier out, and actually go with a 5Y3 or even like a 5AR4 or like a 64GB, whatever, beefier rectifier tube. Well, except that I don't have a center tap, so maybe I'll just stay with yeah, this filament right here doesn't have a center tap, so it'll have to have a virtual center tap comprised of 200 ohm or so resistors. All right, so yeah, that's what's coming up, and I'm going to take my time on those projects, but I'm going to work a little bit at a time on them in a pretty consistent basis. All right.